we're here today with Brad Mewes, principal at Supplement. He's an expert on mergers and acquisitions and travels around the globe informing shop owners on the topic. Brad grew up in his father's collision repair shop, running and operating for a number of years before earning an MBA in finance. Brad has turned his two passions, finance and collision repair, into a career speaking and advising on mergers and acquisitions, corporate finance, and private equity. Brad has spoken about these topics at numerous industry events, including IBIZ, NACE, and SEMA. Hi Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good, thank you. I have a couple questions to ask you.
Sure.
So number one, what is the overall advice you would like to give to shop owners to remain successful in a competitive industry?
Yeah, there's a lot of different options out there, and I think sometimes it can be overwhelming. I think probably the most important thing is to pick a direction and move forward on it. The businesses I see that get into trouble are the ones that either stop moving forward or undergo some sort of paralysis, and that's really where we see things start to fall apart for business owners.
Great, always keep moving. So it seems like every day we hear about mergers and acquisitions. What's behind the trend, and what makes MSOs so powerful?
Yeah, so there's really two things going on. One is financial, and one is more business strategic. So on the financial side, there's a lot of Wall Street type investors who are active in the industry now. There's private equity groups who are looking to put their money into businesses that are growing very rapidly and who have a lot of market share they could expand into. The collision industry certainly fits that model. The second reason, and really what's driving the first reason, is that there's this idea of economies of scale. And so an economy of scale is that the larger a business becomes, the lower its marginal cost structure becomes. And so what happens is for these leading MSOs, they continue to grow, but as they grow, they're actually able to produce and provide their services for much less than a smaller operator can. And so the ability to create these economies of scale is very important in driving growth. So those two factors are what we're seeing really drive the growth of MSOs in this market.
Very good, thank you. Does that mean that the independent shops are doomed?
No, not at all. In fact, I would argue the opposite. I think it's a great time to be an independent in this industry. I think there's a lot of opportunities for growth. If, for example, an independent could join a franchise, the franchise networks in the industry are very powerful. They're very effective at what they do. They have some of the largest networks in North America. They're expanding globally, and they really allow an independent to leverage some of the same benefits of scale that a larger MSO has. You could, a private business owner as an independent, you could also grow. You could expand. There's a huge opportunity to acquire other shops in this industry. I work with a number of them,
right,
helping them grow and expand and acquire other shops. And so there's a lot of room for expansion. There's a lot of opportunity with your vendors, and in fact, this is an area that we see continually underutilized in the industry. Is relying on your paint vendors to help you grow, to provide financing, to provide support to your organization. So, after all, your paint vendors and your parts vendors and your vendors in general are incentivized to see you grow. So leveraging that resource is a win-win for both parties.
Great. And if an owner makes a decision to grow his or her business and add another location through an acquisition, what should he or she keep in mind?
Yeah, I think probably the easy way is my team ready for it? That's a good question to ask. And so the way we measure that with our clients is we ask the owner, if you took a 2-week vacation and unplugged and disconnected the email and your cell phone and truly, really disconnected and came back, would your business run more or less the same way it is now? Or would it be in flames when you got back?
Right.
And if the business you feel like would continue to run as is, then that's a good sign that your team is probably ready for growth.
Yeah.
So that's we call it the vacation test. If you can take a 2-week vacation.
We all need that. What is a common mistake shop owners make when acquiring a shop?
Yeah, so probably the most common one that we see is budgeting for working capital. So when we go out and we buy a shop, price tends to lead the discussion on both sides of the table, and so we sell on the price, and you go out to your bank, you get financing, or your vendor helps out, or the business owner carries some of the paper, and you get the deal done. What oftentimes is missed is budgeting for working capital. one. So working capital is really the idea, the concept of the money you put into the business to run on a day-to-day basis, excuse me. And the reason working capital is important is because you say you work with an insurance company and they take 15 days to pay you, or 20 or 30 days. Well, effectively, you have to still pay to produce your service. So you have to buy parts, you have to buy paint, you have to pay rent, you have to make payroll, all before a single dollar comes in from that insurance company. So if you don't budget for working capital, that could become quite a challenge. So that's actually one of the areas that we help out a lot with. Is we'll put together those budgets and help the business owner understand what their working capital needs will be post-close.
Oh, it's very organized. Is there a good way for a shop owner to know when the time is right to sell his or her shop?
I wish there was one easy answer. Unfortunately, it's different for everybody. It's a very personal question. And having grown up in a family-run business, I understand how personal that decision is. But the reality is, it's the best time to sell is probably when things are going well, when sales are growing, you're expanding, you have room for growth. And the irony behind that is, of course, that's the hardest time to walk away because you're making money, things are going well.
So. I wouldn't want to walk away from it. My business doing well. Exactly.
And so, and really, the reason this is because it's thinking about it from a buyer's point of view. When you're buying a business, a buyer would much rather go into a business that has room for growth, but is also doing well, has engaged, motivated employees, has good customer relationships. That's the exact type of target a buyer wants. So if you have those things, buyers are willing to pay premiums for them.
I see. And I have one more question for you. Are you only seeing this happen in the U.S. or in other countries as well?
That's a very good point. So I just got back from Spain where I was presenting at IBIS, and we're seeing these trends happen globally. We're seeing consolidation in Australia, very rapid consolidation in Australia, very rapid consolidation throughout North America, obviously. The UK is a very consolidated market. We're seeing consolidation start to take place in France and Belgium, even in Turkey. So we're seeing these trends take place across the globe. And it's a fascinating time to be involved in the business because really the industry's become globalized. While we all operate in our own little markets, the reality is these trends are impacting all of us across the globe in the same way. So it's a good thing. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a great opportunity to grow the business, but it's fascinating to see how we're all the same.
That's great. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for taking the time.